Welcome back to the channel. This is Common Denominator. I was just thinking about something. I wanted to do a quick video. Headed to the gym here. Today's leg day. Gonna get those squats. Do some squats, some leg extensions. Legs and back today. Anyway. I want to talk about the intoxication of African America, the intoxication when it comes to the hip-hop culture. I know I've been driving this point home, but it's a very, very important point. It's broad and it has to be fleshed out. It has to be discussed deeply because there's so many facets to it. Okay, so hip-hop culture, right? The intoxication of Black America. Black America, hip-hop is very, very closely linked to our identity. Much more so than any other music is. A person can get away with saying, a black person can get away with saying, oh, I don't listen to jazz. It's just not for me. Very few black people would have a problem with that. Oh, okay, well, hey, you know, it's not for everybody. A few black people could say, black people may be able to get away with saying, oh, I don't listen to R&B. It's not for me. I like that. I like something a little bit more, hard. I like rap, hip hop. Black people generally won't give. I mean, they may question a little bit, like, what? You don't even like Joe or, Avant, or not even a little Joe, not even the old school, not even, Anita Baker or, a little, nothing. But if you stick to your guns, you'll be able to slide. They'll let you slide. Okay. As long as you listen to rap. As long as you listen to something black, basically, is what they're saying. Now, if you're a black man, now the rules are different for black men and black women. But if you're a black man and you say, I don't listen to rap, especially if you're a younger black man, in your dating years, Now I know all ages of men can date, that's not the debate. But if you're a younger black man, put this phone down here. If you're a younger black man, and you don't listen to rap, automatically something's wrong with you. Like, what? Why not? Because rap music is very closely tied to identity and masculinity for a black male. Okay? It's very, very closely linked to masculinity. Without rap music, it's almost like a person saying, 5 years ago, before veganism and vegetarianism got popular, 5-10 years ago, you don't eat meat. What do you eat? What do you eat? Right? It's almost like saying, what do you eat? So when you tell another black man, hey, I don't listen to rap, I don't listen to hip hop, what do you listen to? And then they immediately start to get suspicious. Let me tell you something. And this is for all the retards out there. And this is for the people who have to deal with the retards, who don't understand this. You were black far long before hip-hop and rap music was even invented. That's if you're a little bit older. Let's say hip-hop goes away. You will still be black, okay? Let's just put that out there. So you will be black regardless of hip hop music. Regardless. Now, not every music that African Americans make gets the same amount of traction in the black community. Okay? R&B, slow jams, what we call slow jams, you know, it has its purpose. You know, sometimes, you know, a black guy who listens to slow jams a little bit too much, we question him. We question his sexuality. Hey, you know, what's going on, man? Like, you know, now let's talk about the rules for black women. If a black woman doesn't listen to rap music or hip hop, not many people bat an eyelid, right? It's not a big deal. Okay, whatever. All right, you don't listen to rap. Okay, fine. We just assume that she listens to R&B or slow jams. We assume that's what she listens to. Okay? But for black men, and this ties directly into the Black Male Toxicity series, you know, the root causes of toxicity, that's the first volume. You can see that video in my feed, in my video catalog selection, whatever you want to say. You can see that video right there. But if you're talking about, oh, and then the second video series is what about Dante? Dante is exploring a prototypical black male in the black community. His role in the black community, how he behaves. Very, very interesting discussion. You got to listen to it because you have to understand the psychology and what's going on with these black males, why this level of toxicity even has been established and continues to thrive. You have to understand that. So, the intoxication of black America, with hip-hop music, now everybody's listening to hip-hop because hip-hop wasn't necessarily in the clubs before. It wasn't a club thing. It wasn't, you know, something you necessarily dance to. It was something you vibe to. It was more of a philosophy. Now it's become the weekend. It's become it's become something you dance to. It's become mainstream in the last, let's say, 10, 15 years, right? It's mainstream, and because of that, it makes it very, very difficult to get away from, because you go dancing, you want to go dancing, you want to go to the club, hip hop is there. So this is how hip hop exploded, because it went to the club scene. It became commercial. Okay, before it was just gangster rap, different, you know, gangster rap around, you know, and then it hit the clubs. Somebody thought to commercialize hip hop, which was really smart. But with the commercialization of hip hop, now you've got the thugs. It started off a little bit soft. It started off with like commercialized, like R&B to like R&B type, like groups like 112 and, you know, different groups like that. But then they would have rappers in there. And then the content of the raps begin to, you know, so now it's like the hip hop is just straight. It's straight commercial now, and a lot of stuff can be played in the club, and it's got the content of old school rap, the same type of like drugs, violence, you know, over sexualization in the music. So now it's not just somewhere in the background in the culture, it's driving the culture. If that makes sense. It's there, it's in there. It's becoming, it's identity. So, anyway, the intoxication of Black America. I'm going to talk from personal experience. Hip hop beats are really hard to put down. Let's just be honest, okay? Hip hop beats sound really good. And because of that, there's a class of individual who says, yeah, I don't really listen to the lyrics. I don't really know the lyrics like that. I just like the beat. We've heard that type. And that type of person, in a way, is admitting that, yes, there is a problem with the lyrics, but I don't listen to the lyrics. I don't pay attention to that. I just like the beat because I like to dance to it. Some people will take it as far, especially women. Some people will take it as far as saying, I like to dance to it because I like, it's a workout for me. I've heard plenty of black women say this. It's a workout. I like to work out to it. I don't really listen to the music like that. And women will especially say it when there's questionable lyrics in the music talking badly about women, especially when it's talking badly about black women. Other black women will bring it up and say, hey, you listen to that trash? I don't really listen to it. I just work out to it. I dance to it or something. And that's it. So there's very little reluctance. There's reluctance to dismissing it as a whole because for one reason or the other, they want to hold on to it. Black people need to hold on to it because the truth is it's an intricate part of our identity. It's an intricate part of our identity. It's, very few black people know black music from non-popular genres. Nobody knows jazz musicians. Very few people can name more than one jazz musician. Very few people know techno, which belongs to African Americans. Started in the city of Detroit. Very few people know other forms of black music, outside of America. Very few people know artists or constantly listening to black music, so because of that, hip hop is the default. And because it's so intoxicating and because it's so closely connected to identity, it makes it very hard to let go of. Okay, it makes it very, very hard to abandon it. So when you talk about cleaning hip hop up, of course you're going to face pushback. You're going to face. So I had to finish the video at the house. When you talk about cleaning up hip hop, when you talk about fixing the problems, the apparent problems that are in hip hop, in order to benefit the entire culture, our image primarily, we have to benefit our image, not just our image, but we have to get ourselves away from programming our young people with negativity, negative music, with negative content. We have to get away from that. If we can't get away from that, we're going to destroy ourselves. Okay, so but what happens is, because hip hop is so revered, because it's so cherished in the community, people are resistant to any little bit of change. Trying to fix hip hop is almost like it's almost like, not to bring in a political point, but it's almost like trying to take guns away from people. It's like talking to the NRA or something. They're going to fight any sort of change. Okay, not a perfect example, but you know what I'm saying. Just the resistance that you face. Um, so that's the problem. So even though hip hop does have issues, and people may be willing to, some people may be willing to agree that there are issues. For example, the content, the violence, the gun violence, the talk of murder, the talk of drugs, the talk of stealing, crime, just overall crime in the music. Because there's this, because there's this, there are these topics, it becomes a problem, and we're faced with having to fix this problem. But some people are so damaged by the music, and that lifestyle has become them, that they become the number one opponents to change. They don't see where it's necessary to get rid of those type of lyrics. They like those lyrics. They like the dirty version. They don't like the radio edit. They crave the filth. They crave that type of content because they've become warped. They've become changed by the music. You see, so this is what we face. So the battle is within. It's not necessarily from without. It's not other races telling us that we need to change it. It's ourselves. And this is an example of how difficult it is for us to progress in this country, because half the people want the filth. Half the people want the music that talks about drugs and women as the B word, and just talks about a lifestyle that's just not really becoming of a people, just trash. So, and then on the opposite spectrum, you have people like myself who, it's not necessarily the beats, it's not necessarily the art of rap or the art of hip hop that's the problem. It's the content. If we could tailor some of that content, okay, towards in another direction, then we could start to actually fix the problems. If we could get everyone on the same boat and get us away from certain topics that actually hurt us, then we can make some progress. But the problem is you have hip hop artists who are, this music represents who they are. The music is trash and they are trash. And they are fighting for their rights to make this trash. And they know there's problems with the music, because when other blacks will question them about the music, they'll tell, and then the influence it's having on kids, they'll say, well, it's not my job to police your kids or to watch your kids. That's your job as the parent. You see what I'm saying? So there's this selfish individualism, and there's a lack of collectivism, a lack of responsibility to the group. Anyway, I just want you guys to think about that. This is the intoxication of Black America. This is what we're drunk on. We're drunk on foul hip-hop. We're drunk on selfishness. We're drunk on meism, just me. There's no accountability to the group. There's no trying to better the group. It's just about bettering me. And that's it. And tell me your thoughts. Common denominator.